Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 71 of the Local to Global. Now, this episode, obviously, it's the pay-per-view episode. We've got Night of Combat in 2 days' time, but we've also got a few other things that we need to really look at going into, into the next month, because obviously next month we have one ring to rule them all. But as you can see here as well, our broadcasting deals, our pay-per-view deals, they're all essentially in their last month. And I think, Canada One Choice is expiring in 4 days' time. So I think once we finish the pay-per-view, which we'll start processing into here, once we do that, we will actually, go into the actual pay-per-view providers, have a little look at them in a bit more detail, and kind of figure out exactly what we're going to be doing, because it's an important thing that needs to be taken care of, because obviously pay-per-view revenue, it does make up a relatively large amount of our profit that we make each month. Look at this guy, Brad Lane from the TEW dojo. He actually looks pretty good. Good entertainment stats. I mean, his star quality is pretty low, but I mean, everything else is very well rounded. Very, very well rounded. Okay. I think that's a backfire. I'm pretty sure that's a backfire. I think we asked Papa Swole to go up in size, and he's just dropped down to heavyweight. Doesn't look like it changed his star quality, though. Which I guess is a good thing. What's his star quality? I kind of feel like his star quality was in the 90s before. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Yeah, that one's very interesting, because now he's only a toned heavyweight, whereas I literally thought that he was in the 90s for his star quality. Anyway, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. It's fine, him going down. I mean, he was essentially a big heavyweight. Now he's gone down to a toned heavyweight, which is probably a good thing for the lad. We don't want him to be. Oh, you wouldn't want a wrestler being too big. There's a lot of problems that can come with being too big and being overweight and stuff like that. Anyway, we've got an incident here from Papa Swole, brightening the backstage area. So I'm guessing now that he's sort of finished his diet, he's probably a little bit happier. He is irrepressible, though, so it's a great personality to have. We've got Marvin Malloy brightening the backstage area by being cheerful and fun to be around as well. And then we've got John Greed passing on tips on psychology to his protege, Charlie Corner. So Charlie getting a little bit extra psychology there as well, which is perfect. We are expecting 68,000 or 68 and 2,000 fans for Night of Combat. So of course we've got to go to Toronto. The economy down at 34 now, wrestling industry at 64. So it's slowly creeping, quite far down, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, we're only, 5 points away? Yeah, we're only 5 points of popularity away in Alberta to actually going up to big size. Another thing I noticed between episodes is our popularity in Europe is very, very decent. 25's got a couple of 26s in there. 23 is sort of the minimum level for Southern and Eastern Europe. It looks pretty good. So I'm thinking Europe is probably going to be the first region that we actually upgrade outside of, Mexico, the US, and Canada, of course. Also, I kind of feel like my webcam is a little bit, yeah, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Looks like it was facing up a bit. I must have bumped it or something. Anyway, let's book the show. It's going to be, we got a lot of storylines. Of course, last episode, the storylines were doing pretty well. And I think overall, we got some really decent storylines going. Obviously, Fractures in the Darkness is a good one. New Kid on the Block, of course, we've been running that for 2 months now. This one, Stone wanting to prove himself against the GOAT himself as well. We got Tavon's in ring. We got the Canadian title. We got the triple threat match, which I'm really looking forward to. Let's actually book that. And we've finally got the women's world, or the women's title. I know I keep calling it the women's world title. I kind of want to call it the women's world title. But let me go black screen for a quick second here, and I'll book the main event. Now, of course, it is going to be current unified world champion Logan Wolfsbane taking on 2 pretty decent competitors. I feel like, obviously, Mobstar. He's been around the block in the he's been the world champion. He's former world champion himself. But then, of course, we also have a bit of maybe an outside underdog, the new leader of Wall Street Enterprises, and of course that is Jackpot Jordan. And he was always kind of the standout of the stable, but he never really, I never really decided to give him the proper run that I think he deserved, which is interesting. But again, for this match, I am going to script it. So let's see if we can get that elusive 100. Make sure the title is on the line. Unified World title. All right, everything looks pretty good there. So let me bring you guys back. Main event is booked. Not exactly sure what angle I want to do. I think I'll just go with Logan. You know what? Let's go all 3 before the match starts, because it is a triple threat. So in theory, it would kind of make sense for all 3 of them to be talking to each other prior to the start of it. So we'll go with it. We'll run with it. Now I think I'm gonna have to go black screen once again, so I may as well do it right now, and that's for the women's title match as well. So let me do that real quick. I know it's a little bit anticlimactic, in regards to the booking. But of course, we've got Amber Allen taking on Laura Flame in what is going to be the actual first ever title match in the company. Of course, it was essentially supposed to be at the last pay-per-view, but the women's title was stolen away. And of course, number 1 suspect is Laura Flame. And I would say there's a lot of little sort of shenanigans and just a lot of weird stuff that's sort of going on, of course. It was in Doc Hammond's office. Of course, he is the Women's Division Commissioner. And, yeah, I mean, it just seems a little sus, is what I'm trying to say. And by sus, everything seems a little bit shady, if you will. Just need to make sure I do this match properly, because I don't really want it to ruin the division. But it should be a good match. And I think the rightful champion will be declared there. It's essentially what's best for the division, is what I'm trying to say. So there's that. And I don't think we need... I think we can just book through every other match. I think I do want to give Amber an angle. Maybe we'll have Laura off screen. Actually, maybe we'll have both Laura and Doc, because he's also involved in the angle, in the storyline, sorry. Let's have both of them there. Gilmore to road agent it, and again, that'll advance our women's wrestling in the Coalition storyline. Okay, perfect. Now we can just book whatever we want. Let's book Tavon Blake Jr.'s in-ring debut. Of course, he's taken on Matt Hocking. Should be actually, I would say, a relatively good match. They've both got, decent level of popularity. They're both actually really good workers. And they're both, in their 30s now, even though Tavon is only just in the 30s. But, I mean, it's just going to be 2 guys, roughly both of them in their prime. I mean, 35 for Hocking is not too bad either. And they've both essentially got about the same sort of level of popularity. So it's not exactly going to be a very good day for Hocking, but we need to book Tavon strong, because next month there's going to be, well, essentially next month, the Jackson Protection Agency is going to have their first contract. So that'll be very interesting. All right, what else have we got? We've got the tag team title matches. Again, more members of the Jackson Protection Agency as well. We've got Young and Wasted taking on the Texas Express. How long do I want to give this one? My only worry is Turk, but he's actually up to 38 popularity now. He's very close to 40, and 40 is kind of the I guess the almost, well, I would say almost the jump out of the mid card, out of the lower mid card, and then obviously Cooper is sort of head and shoulders above above everybody else in this match in regards to sort of in-ring ability. He does have sort of same popularity as both members of Young and Wasted, but then again, he has much better psychology and basics, I think, as well. Although their basics is pretty good. At least Taylor's is. I think Brett is the better of the two. Yeah, so he's got 81. He's also got higher psychology as well. Okay, so tag titles on the line. And unfortunately for this one, Turk Treneman is once again going to cost, because he lost his match. I think he actually lost to Brett originally in the singles match, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken. But I think I want these guys to go all out as well. So let's book that. It's going to be a 12-minute match. I want them to go all out. It's going to be scripted, obviously, because it kind of needs to be at this point. I might actually put that before that match, so we have 3 title matches in a row. And we might actually start off with Graham Gorman and Jack Jackson, I think. Sees Jack Jackson, Graham Gorman. I think this will start off the show. This one we'll go for 20 minutes on this one. The Canadian title. I know it's kind of our mid-card title, but at the end of the day, I want to, show it a pretty decent amount of respect as well. I do think we'll call this one. Usually I like to maybe script a 20-minute match, but I don't really see this one setting the world, alight per se, because obviously there's not a huge amount of popularity in the match, but yeah, I mean, we'll call it. We'll let them do their thing. Now, we've got this match here, Maddie Faith, Storm Spillane rematch. I like the way this match is going to play out, because I've booked it in my head already. And it was kind of the thought process about, what could happen following the unexpected Maddie Faith loss. So once again, we'll go for 20 minutes on this one as well. And we're going to have Maddie Faith pick up the victory. It's going to be open, called, slow built, tainted. We're going to have an interference onto Storm by... Let's go Charlie. Charlie can come out. And then we're also going to have the outside interference finish, Storm Spillane by Marvel Malloy. So Marvel Malloy is going to interfere against Storm Spillane as the match finish, giving Maddie Faith the victory there. And of course, giving him a little bit of revenge there as well. I think the Tavon versus Hocking match, I might even reduce that match a little bit. I gave it 16 minutes originally, but I think I'm going to make it the storytelling match. We do have some other matches as well. We got another huge match, actually. And that is, of course, Mutant taking on Aussie Darkstein for what is essentially Aldous Blackfriar's love and affection. So this is going to be another 20-minute match as well. I think we should call this one as well. Just because I don't really see it be being anything too spectacular either. And this one's a hard one because I haven't actually decided who I want to put over. On the one hand, we're kind of playing or teasing Aussie Darkstein going back to being Aussie Goldstein. So I think with that in mind, and that's kind of the sort of storyline direction I want to go, I think we're going to give Mutant the victory here. So he will be the Forces of Darkness representative in One Ring to rule them all. So Darkstein not going to be involved. Potentially, he might be involved. We'll have to wait and see how the month plays out. But obviously, Aldous being the former winner, he's not going to be entered into the tournament. I think that's a good way of not having sort of back-to-back winners, because I don't really want to do back-to-back. I want to sort of have a new tournament winner each and every year. Not a new one every year. I mean, Aldous could very well win it next year because he'll be back involved. And obviously the winner of this year, obviously next month, won't be involved next year. So it's just a good way of, I guess, like I said, not having back-to-back, but also allowing it to be split up a little bit more. And maybe, you know, just having separate, you know, sort of winners throughout the years. All right, what else have we got? We've got done all those. We need to do Stone versus Davis. We got some big matches on this card, man. I mean, David Stone versus the GOAT, Davis Wayne Newton. That is a big match. I mean, you look at David Stone Jr. Why is he just called... Isn't it David Stone Jr.? Or am I just completely losing my mind? Oh, he's the son of Dan Stone Jr. I'm just really confusing myself right now. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, 20 minutes. This one's a tough one, man. This one's a tough one because I don't really know who I want to win. You know what I'll do? I know who I want to win. We're going to do it this way. David Stone's going to pick up the biggest win of his career. However, it's going to be another tainted sort of win. This one's going to be slightly different. We're going to have a distraction finish. So Davis is going to be distracted by his old foe, Mr. Angry Gilmore. Getting, like I said, getting David his biggest win of his career, I would say. Oh, we can actually have Angry in there. What's the issue? All right, Quincy has too much refereeing to do. Not a problem. But I also just noticed that we're at our sort of allotted time. So I'm definitely going to reduce this down to 12 minutes. We'll get rid of the... Oh, I didn't even do a slow build on it. Okay, good thing I reduced that. But we're going to need to put a few angles in here. We don't exactly have a lot of time. We've only got 19 minutes. I'm just sort of looking to see what we could maybe move around. All right, I think Jack Jackson 100% needs an angle because he is kind of our main guy that we're definitely pushing at the moment. So I guess let's have him on Graham Gorman off screen to kick off the show. We also haven't done the Kavanaugh versus High Flying match. We might actually have to put that on the pre-show, which I'm not really too worried about either. It was kind of just a match for Kavanaugh to get on the card. So what am I doing? Push for Canada. There we go. That'll go there. I mean, I wanted to do a Maddie Faith angle as well. Let's just go with an Aldous angle for 6 minutes, just by himself. Actually, you know what? Let's have him talk about Mutant and about Aussie, but they'll be off screen. So this will sort of be like a backstage angle. Yeah, I mean, we can give him a little bit of success there as well. It's going to continue Fractures in the Darkness. that before their match. And then we've only got one angle left. So it's either going to go to Matty Faith or it's got to go to David Stone. And I think it's going to go to David Stone. Because then we can actually get David and Angry in the same angle together. Both on entertainment. And I guess, yeah, I mean, we'll put Davis in as well just to advance the storyline because it's likely to be a pretty decent angle. Stone wanting to prove himself. I mean, with that sort of victory, is he really proving himself? Alright, so we need to change road agents. Let's go... I want to keep that the way it is. Let's go to this match, and that's already Robinson, so... Unfortunate. Yeah. I guess we're going to have to change this angle here. Well, that's already Gilmore. It's not even Monton, so... That's Hammond. Alright. Got a few problems here. This is exactly the reason why we need to get in... Tommy Cornell, because he's the best road agent we'll have in the company. But it will just be another number added. I mean, he's essentially... We're paying a hell of a lot of money for him, so it kind of makes sense for us to be just using him as much as possible, as well as, you know, the usual suspects. What about this one? That one's Monton. So let's go Kavanaugh for the tag title match. And that fixes our problem nicely. Alright. There we go. That's the show. Looks pretty damn good. The fact that we can't even put this match on the card is... It's almost hilarious, to be honest. So, we need... Where is he? Mighty Kavanaugh. Taking on High Flying Hawaiian. I guess, I mean, we may as well just give it 20 minutes. It's on the pre-show. I mean, give it some actually, you know what? No, I think we can, because let me have a look at him, but I really don't even think Kavanaugh is in time decline. I mean, maybe he is, but doesn't really look like it. Like, none of his stats have sort of decreased. His stamina, it was 68, 67 there, 68 again. Now it's down to 67, but it's still kind of there, which is strange. I really wish we had a time decline in the creative meeting again. I really dislike the fact that they took that out. So let's go for, I guess we'll try and go Stones, and then Gilmore, possibly, if he's got anything left on the pre-show. I think I'm going to give Kavanaugh the victory. Just because I would really like to get rid of his morale issues. And I know that's kind of setting back High Flying a little bit. But it's only on the pre-show, so I don't really think it matters all that much. And then I think for the rest of the card, we might even just go a 15-man Battle Royale match, to be honest. Let's go male. We'll throw in... You know, guys like Charlie Corner, Chip Martin, Gary Walker. Brody can go in. Let's go for Island Boy, Chester, Kid San Juan, Hernandez, Zales, Patriot, Papa Swole, definitely. I might leave Princeton out. We'll put him in a different match. With Stevie Parker. But let's go Shooting Star Perez. Need 3 more people. Sono, Willie LaRue, and Spencer in there as well. Seeing as James Chester's in there. We had a really good suggestion about Chester and Edmund. They're going to kind of be the, I guess, sort of a similar mold to MJF, where they think that they're better than everybody. Let's go 16 minutes on it. Actually, let's go 15. 15's perfect number. The winner is going to be Brody. The runner-up can be maybe Hernandez. Yeah, we'll go Hernandez. Finalist can be Island Boy Apollo. Most eliminations has to go for Brody. Actually, we'll make another finalist, Gary Walker. And yeah, pretty simple, pretty easy. Gets a lot of people on the card. We'll go with Kavanaugh, and I would go with Dace. I mean, really doesn't matter too much. And then we'll go a tag match as well. Like I said, we'll just get Princeton. They can verse the LA Stars, actually. Quite a good match for them. So let's have Princeton and Stephen Parker taking on the LA Stars. Of course, Wall Street Enterprises, essentially. 12 minutes on the pre-show. Princeton getting the win. Only because he's the younger of the two in that sort of tag team partnership. We may as well make it tainted as well. Although there is a lot of tainted finishes on this card. Alright, that'll go on first. Alright, that's perfect. I know we're not really using any other sort of women on the card apart from the women's title match. But it should be fine. Let's run the show. Here we go. Night of Combat 2024. And we start off with a 77 rated pre-show tag match. We have Princeton Price and Stephen Parker, Wall Street Enterprises, and they defeat the LA Stars in 11:33 when Princeton Price pinned LA Star 1, illegally using the ropes for leverage, so cheating to win. As you would kind of expect from a guy like Princeton Price. All the money in the world, and he loves to cheat. Alright, the 15-man Battle Royale, we get a 71 for this one, so it's actually it's a relatively good Battle Royale. I mean, we've got a couple of, well, we got mostly mid-carders in the match. We've got a couple of maybe upper mid-carders in Hernandez, Brody, maybe even Gary Walker could maybe be considered upper mid-card at this point. But yeah, everybody else sort of mid-card. Maybe Perez is below. Chip's probably below the mid-card level. But yeah, it's pretty good. And then we have Mainstream Hernandez really off his game, which is very, very strange. Alright, we then have a 78 rated singles match, which should have been on the main card. But we've got it on the pre-show here tonight. And we have Mighty Kavanaugh defeating High Flying Hawaiian in 1959 by pinfall with a sit-out spinebuster. I mean, it's a 78. It's actually pretty good. The fact that High Flying Hawaiian got an 80 in-ring kind of makes me wish that I gave him the victory, because that's pretty impressive. And obviously it's Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh's 41 years old. Also had a lot of morale issues, and I was on the verge of kind of never using him again, but then I've kind of decided that maybe I should. He's still essentially got something left to give, I feel like. And like I said, he's not essentially in time decline either. So if he was in time decline, there would be no hesitation to just job him out till he retires, basically. But I think One Ring to rule them all, he'll obviously be involved in that tournament. And it'll be interesting. He might make it past the first round, maybe not. But it will probably be his, I don't know, I guess his last sort of real involvement. Alright, we then kick off the show with an 86 rated angle from Jack Jackson, our current Canadian champion. And of course, he cuts his promo onto Graham Gorman, his opponent tonight, the former Canadian champion as well. And yeah, Jackson improvising well throughout the segment, as we'd kind of expect. He's one of the best talkers we have in the company. And he's definitely our next sort of David Stone push that we're going to try and get up into the main event. Alright, very good match. We get an 80 rated Canadian title match where we have Jack Jackson defeating Graham Gorman in 20 minutes 22 seconds by pinfall with an implant DDT. And we have Jack Jackson making defense number 2 of the CWC Canadian title. Just a very good match. All round, 80, 78 in-ring there for Graham and only a 64 there for Jack. And the fact that it got an 80 is very, very respectable. I did call this one as well, so that's interesting. All right. Kind of glad I called every other match except for the main event. All right, but yeah, we move on from the 80 into an 87 rated match here. We have Maddie Faith defeating Storm Spillane, getting a bit of revenge from last month where he took that unexpected loss in their first encounter. And he beats him in 20 minutes, 7 seconds by pinfall with a leap of faith. Following interference. It says following interference from Charlie Corner. But obviously that's not exactly how the match played out. We had... Alright, so ignore Charlie Corner, because obviously he got involved in the match, but he was not the cause of the leap of faith. The leap of faith was caused by Marvel Malloy, which is the way I booked that, and it's obviously not registered it properly. But there we go. So yeah, Marvel Malloy costing Storm Spillane. Of course, they are the American Cobras together in a tag team. And obviously, Storm cost Marvel his match against Maddie Faith last week on TV. And kind of looks like Marvel, you know, that was a botched interference. This one, not exactly a botched interference, but you know what? He cost him the match. And I guess they would kind of be on level terms now, potentially. Maybe not. Anyway, we then go into a 100 rated angle where we have the leader of Forces of Darkness. We have Aldous Blackfriar. And of course, he says that tonight, Mutant and Darkstein will face off to see who is the dominant one that will be entered into One Ring to rule them all. And of course, he says he's got no favorites, but he wants the true dominant standout to kind of step forward and step up into that role to represent their stable. This match does even better than Storm versus Faith, and we get a 91 rated match where we have Mutant defeating Aussie Darkstein in 20 minutes, 6 seconds by pinfall with the Tina Turner. What can I say about this one? I mean, incredible match. Like I said, this card, the Night of Combat, was absolutely stacked. So stacked, like I said, when I was booking it, that we have to put Kavanaugh versus High Flying on the pre-show. That just goes to show. And we get a 91 after an 87 for two singles matches. Impressive stuff. I mean, Darkstein with an 84 in-ring, Mutant with a 79, although I'm expecting Mutant's popularity to essentially go up quite a bit with this this victory over Darkstein. And of course, Mutant will be the entrant into One Ring to rule them all. All right, we then go into, I guess what you could say it's kind of the cool down match on the card. But we have the pay-per-view debut of Tavon Blake Jr. His match getting a 69 rating. We have Tavon Blake defeating Matt Hocking in 11:41 by pinfall with a pile driver. Again, it's a good match considering their in-ring performances. We get a 60 from Tavon and a 58 there from Hocking. Yeah, good stuff. Like I said, kind of the cool-down match. It was the storytelling match on the card as well. And we'll move on. All right, we then go into the tag team title match, and it does very, very well. Get an 82 rated tag team title match. That kind of blows my mind, man. These tag teams have sort of elevated themselves so much over the course of the last maybe 2 years. And it's teams like Young and Wasted, teams like, I mean, you could say, you know, the more forgotten teams like the Rock City Express and the Rock City Stars, sorry. Of course, the Crew was in there as well. LA Stars were kind of a new sort of tag team that really sort of pushed Young and Wasted to the limits in that sort of triple threat. Was it triple threat ladder or was it triple threat TLC? Whatever it was, I can't remember, but it was very good. And this is much, much improved on top of that. So we have Young and Wasted pulling off another upset victory, you could maybe say, because obviously the Texas Express were somewhat, maybe they weren't favorites, but it was maybe evens, so they were even odds sort of coming into this match, purely for the fact that they've been relatively dominant, and of course they have both Tavon and Jackson in the back of their pockets whenever they need to use them. They defeat the Texas Express in 11:48 when Brett Kyle pinned Turk Treneman with a shooting star press. And we do indeed have Young and Wasted making defense number 3 of the CWC Coalition Tag Team titles. Impressive stuff. Very impressive. Alright, we then go into a 99 rated angle from David Stone and Angry Gilmore, of course. They've got the sort of leader of Next Gen, and of course the sort of deputy mentor, experienced veteran in Angry Gilmore. And of course tonight he's giving some wise words to young David Stone, saying that, you know, a win tonight will essentially push David Stone into superstardom. If he can beat the GOAT, you know, the fans will either respect him wholeheartedly or they will hate him beyond belief. And Gilmore says he knows exactly what it feels like. You know, he's beaten Davis himself and the fans turned on him, but he hopes that if David is able to beat Davis tonight, the fans might love him. Of course, we all know what's about to happen. That match does even better than the 2 previous sort of high-level singles matches. We get a 94 rated match. Insane. I mean, this card has potential, man, to be really, really highly rated. A 94, and it's not even the main event. Anyway, we have David Stone pulling off the biggest win of his career, defeating the GOAT himself, Davis Wayne Newton, in 1951 by pinfall with a stone cutter after a distraction from Angry Gilmore. And as you can tell, the distraction from Gilmore has essentially pushed the fans to that one side where they absolutely despise David Stone now as a result. So essentially we have a bit of an impromptu heel turn, although you could probably say that David Stone was sort of already kind of leaning towards being a heel. And obviously Davis, he's the babyface of the company. You know, the fans, they still love him. He's still the GOAT. He's sort of the Chris Jericho, I would say, of the Coalition. The fans love him. Even if he, you know, turned heel for some reason, the fans are still going to love him. They're still going to call him the GOAT. And he's still going to put on pretty good matches. As evident by this one. We get a 93 in-ring there from the GOAT. And a pretty solid 85 there from David Stone as well. Hopefully the main event will beat that. I think it will. I think we might get the 100. If we get the 100 rated match, I'll be very, very happy. Anyway, we move on to a 75 rated angle from one Amber Allen. And of course, she kind of finally sort of rests her case, and she says that she wholeheartedly, without a shadow of a doubt, believes that Laura Flame stole the title out of Doc Hammond's locked office. And of course, you know, they're not out there at the moment to plead their case, per se, especially for Doc. And unfortunately, Amber didn't do very well without a script to follow. Kind of expecting maybe an 80 or above, to be honest. But that's okay. That's perfectly fine. And we go into the first ever official women's title match. Moving swiftly on from the Fatal 4-Way mistake. But you know what? I feel like we definitely turned it around with this sort of storyline. And didn't we put a bit of a swerve in there as well? We get a 75 rated women's title match. And we have Laura Flame defeating Amber Allen in 13:20 by pinfall with a flame fire kick, following interference from Doc Hammond. Laura Flame wins the CWC Women's title at the hands of the commissioner, Doc Hammond. What on earth is going on in this women's division? Hopefully a lot will be answered next episode in the first 2 weeks of TV. But boy, oh boy, Amber Allen, for lack of a better term, she thought she was a guaranteed champion. She thought she was going to beat Laura. No, she stole the title away from Amber, essentially in that first ever Fatal 4-Way match, which was supposed to be for the title. And of course, the locked office where the title was held, obviously not so locked after all. As we can see, these two joining up, Doc and Laura. Anyway, very good match. Got an 84 there for Amber, a 74 for Laura, and I did actually keep, I did keep Amber strong just because I didn't really want her to lose popularity. She'd probably lose maybe 1 or 2 points, but I think that's a pretty good outcome, and I think, yeah, I made it a tainted match as well. So hopefully that'll prevent her losing even maybe less popularity. All right, we then move into a 100 rated angle. The perfect way to build up to our main event here. Logan Wolfsbane, Mobstar, Jackpot Jordan, all three of them war of words going back and forth and back and just all over the place prior to the actual match starting. And here we go. Please, I need it to be a 100. It can do it, I believe. Not this time, though. Not this time. It is the best match on the card, which is a positive. Only by 1 point, though. We get a 95 rated main event here for our final match here on Night of Combat. And we do indeed have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Mobstar and Jackpot Jordan in 1944 when Logan pinned Mobstar with a belly-to-belly suplex. And we have Logan Wolfsbane making defense number 6 of the CWC Unified World title. Unfortunately, yet again, we get the definite lack of psychology on display penalty. Even though we scripted the match, it's only 20 minutes long, we still got it. Anyway, we got a 100 in-ring from Logan, a 92 there from Mobstar, and a pretty solid 85 there from Jordan as well. And of course, Jackpot Jordan is, I think he only had 86 popularity going into this match, as opposed to the 100 and the 92, I believe, Mobstar was on. Just unfortunate, man. I thought that might have been it. I thought it might have been it. And it's literally the only penalty. So, no storyline penalties, nothing like that. Was penalized for lack of psychology, and that is it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Anyway, let's finish the show. Please be a good show. I would love for it to be our best ever show, but I don't think it will be. Very close. We get a 95 rated show as well, which syncs up pretty well with the main event there. And it does actually increase our popularity in all 56 regions, so we might actually get another popularity increase for Ontario as well. Anyway, we need some praising. We need Kavanaugh. We need, I think, Hocking. I think Hocking had morale issues. And I want to maybe say Princeton. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I think maybe. We'll have to take a double check here. This girl looks pretty good as well. Dawn Lawler. Might have a look at her. Although I'm assuming she's on an exclusive written contract with CZCW coming out of their dojo. What's her name? Dawn Lawler. Let's go for DAW. Only a handshake deal. Interesting. I mean, she looks pretty damn good. Obviously, the psychology is unfortunate. Star quality is also very unfortunate. But you know what? She's got really good entertainment skills as well. As well as really good brawling, really good technical. We're going to sign her up, and I think we'll put her down into developmental. But like I said, she looks okay. And I could definitely see her doing some pretty big things. And I like her name as well. I like the name Dawn. Very fitting. We've also got this one, Edna. But she is the bully. The 90s star quality bully. Which I really would have loved to have signed as well. I'm assuming that's an exclusive written contract as well. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's for 2 years. You know what? I wasn't going to sign her. Anyway, we've also got a Bear Bukowski's contract running out as well. Yeah, you know what? I like Bear Bukowski, but our roster it's too big. So we'll let that one go as well. Anyway, we get a 3.86 TV rating, which I think is, obviously, it's quite a bit lower, but we got a pay-per-view buy rate of 1.11 as well, over 556,000 buys. That seems like a lot. Anyway, let's advance one day, get into the new month, get into November, and then we've got a few things to do. So obviously, we're going to check popularity. We'll briefly go over the creative meeting because it's not going to change month to month. And then we're going to look at the broadcasters, and I kind of want to see how much money we have because I kind of want to spend some of it. I think maybe we might be ready to upgrade our broadcaster in Mexico, go up to big size. We've also got CZCW. They put in a contract offer as well, but it's not being seriously considered, so that's perfect. And there we go. Broadcasting deal finished with Canada One Choice. And would you look at that? Tommy Cornell joins CWC. All right. I like that. All right, so first things first, let's check popularity. Actually, surprisingly, the first person I want to check is Laura Flame, who is now up to 69, or nearly, I would say nearly 70 popularity, which is very impressive. And that's got to be up quite a few points. Yeah, so that's up 6 points on the month with her becoming the champion. I guess looking at her, we definitely need to look at Amber as well. And it looks like she might not... Yeah, she didn't lose any popularity that month. I'm not sure if she gained any during the month, but the fact that she hasn't lost any and she's still 82 pop kind of makes me damn happy. She kind of lost 1 point in Saskatchewan, but then again, she was already 80 prior to getting that extra point, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Anyway, very happy with that. That's a pretty good outcome, I think. All right, I guess the next person I want to look at is Jackpot Jordan. So actually, let's look at Jack Jackson first as well. So he's up to 68 popularity now, which is insane. Kind of unfortunate that it's a little bit lower than Quebec for some reasons. 72 in Quebec, but he did gain 8 points in Ontario. For some reason, he gained 10 points in Quebec. And pretty much everywhere else, except for British Columbia and Ontario, and Alberta as well. Alberta's only 7. Yeah, very strange. Either way, I'm still happy with it. You know, it's almost kind of more over in America than... Well, he's American, I guess, but... Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. All right, Jackpot's up next. Up to 88 popularity, so he actually gained 2 points for being in that main event. So, very impressive stuff there. Very happy with that. He's up 7 points this month alone, which just... I mean, that just seems ridiculous. But then again, he did have a victory. Yeah, he had a victory this month over Davis, which I think he gained a little bit of popularity out of. And then, of course, just involved in some pretty good matches. Of course, Papa Swole and Mobstar I mean, he did lose that match, but he won this match here as well, and then of course losing the 95 rated match as well in the main event of the show. We only made 2.7 million last month though. Is interesting. Oh, because we bought a dojo. That's right. I forgot about that. We bought the other women's dojo. So we spent over $1 million last month. Anyway, let's look at some more popularity. I want to check Mobstar out because I want to see if he might have gone up. He did. He's up to 95. That's the first time he's ever broken through. No way. Wow. As you can see, he was stuck at 92 popularity for a long, long time, man. I think that was when he lost the title. Maybe? Maybe not. I don't even remember. No, it probably would have been about then. When he lost it to Logan. He's gone from 92 up to 95 this month. And he's gained 7 points in some of these other regions. 8 points in some of these other regions. Been a big month for Mobstar. I didn't really realize because he was kind of just the, one of the other guys in that main event along with Jackpot. Very, very strange. Very strange. Wow. What else? Who else do we need to look at? Matty Faith, we need to check him, see if he's back on track. 88 popularity. All right, so he's up 2 points on the month, which is good. But then again, he's also still, 2 points shy of where he was at the 90. But then again, we are going into One Ring to rule them all. And it very well could be Matty Faith's tournament, per se. Of course, his recent storyline with his sort of dark promos that he's been having, sort of blaming himself for his recent downturn in momentum, I would say. Similar to, like I said, I gave the example of Jay White. I would feel like it's a pretty similar thing for those two. All right, who else have we got? Mutant would be an interesting one to look at. So he's only up to 69 popularity in Ontario. Sort of very similar to Jack Jackson, really. But then again, he did gain 6 points, 7 points in some regions. But yeah, only up to 69. Just Ontario was slightly lower than some of the other regions there. What about, where is he? Aussie. Need to check Aussie. Ooh. Looking pretty brutal for Aussie at the moment. He's down to 74 popularity. But then again, he is 38 years old. But that's essentially the lowest popularity. Essentially been 1 year since he was last at 74. A whole year of progress. And he's back to where he was. And of course, only 3 months ago, he was actually at the highest popularity he's ever had at 86. Actually, he might have been at 87 one time. I can't remember. Very early on, but yeah, it was at 86, now down at 74. So pretty bad, but then at the same time, it's kind of good to get some of his popularity off of him. We can always just push him back up. It really wouldn't be too hard because he is that good. He's also still not in time decline, so that's a positive. That's a big positive, and I think we're obviously going with the storyline of the fractures in the darkness. So he will eventually leave the stable somehow, some way. All right, but there we go. Speaking of popularity, we are up to 90 popularity, 90 size in Ontario. That's incredible. That really is. We're also up to 74 now in Alberta. So we're essentially 2 months away. I would say about 2 months away, a month and a half maybe, going up to big size. A little bit scary, but at the same time, It's obviously the goal of this series, so we want to be doing that as soon as possible. The fact that the US is pretty much 73 in nearly all regions apart from Puerto Rico and Hawaii, that's very good. And then you look at Mexico, above 30 in every region, 36 in these two as well. Like I said, let's do that now, actually. Let's go to investments, upgrade our broadcaster. We're going up to big coverage, just under 5.2 million for Mexico. And then I think let's do Europe as well. That's another 2.75 million for Europe. But you know what? I think it should be worth it. There we go. Got medium-sized coverage in Europe now for our broadcaster. And then we got big for USA, Canada, and now Mexico as well. Very happy with that. All right, so with that said, let's quickly have a look at the creative meeting. David Stone in at number 1. Was he there last episode? I don't know if he was. I think he might have been. I think I kind of freaked out a little bit. Anyway, we've got David Stone, Logan, Aldous, Davis, and Mobstar. Next big things, Cooper, Papa Swole, Uterasono, Zombie Boy, and Willie LaRue. Then got Cooper Christie, or Hot Prospects, Cooper Christie, Papa Swat. Essentially the same 5, but in a different order. Talk the Talk, Mr. Tommy Cornell in at number 1. Aldous Blackfry, number 2. Got Gary Walker, Demeltzer Wade. Is very, very strange, but we need to put her onto color commentary. I don't think I did it yet. Because she's not here yet. I don't think. Let me have a look at that, actually. Okay, so we've got 2 days to wait, and then she'll be on commentary. So next month. That's pretty cool. Get both Tommy and Demeltzer on commentary. And then in number 5, as you'd expect, Mr. Angry Gilmore as well. I say Mr. because they're both, fairly senior. Showstoppers, David Stone, number 1. High Flying Hawaiian, number 2. The GOAT in at number 3. And then Aldous and Logan, 4 and 5. Ring Generals. Got Patriot, David Stone, Aldous Blackfriar, Logan Wolfsbane, and Tavon Blake Jr. A little bit surprising, coming in at number 5 there. Although he does have very good basics, fairly good sort of psychology, but yeah, very good consistency, very good safety in there, and very good selling. 82 selling is pretty high. Look at some of these other people. What's Logan selling? Yeah, he's actually got higher selling than Logan does, which is very interesting. Who's hot? Yeah, I mean, these people. Good to see Brody in there. Who's not? We've got apparently nobody. So I find strange. And yeah, they're the hidden gems. I mean, Leocadie LeBlanc is number 1. But he's still trash, so we shall move on. Alright, let's go into broadcasting. We need to set up some new deals. So, you all broadcasters, we need to go to Canada, yes. I've forgotten which one it is, but there is one that we need to get onto. There it is, Premier Pay and TV. With big coverage all across Canada. And of course, we want our new deal for events, their cable-based pay-per-view. There we go. Let's go. I guess we'll go 1 year. It says they want a minimum of 12 episodes, which is essentially just 1 year, so... I wonder if we just change the time slot, if it'll make any difference. So we can actually go late night or early evening. No, they don't want us on early evening. Apparently, we'd have to pay them to go early evening. So it's going to be late night. And I think we'll have to go 13 episodes. Because we have Wrestle War and we have Warzone. Which is 2 separate ones. I really don't like that proposed number of episodes. Kind of messing my mind up a little bit. I prefer just to have unlimited with the time frame. Then again, 13 is essentially 1 year, so it should work out. All right, let's try and get as much money as we can. They're only wanting. Oh man, only 25%. Wow. I was expecting at least 30%, but yeah, it's only gonna be 25. All right, there we go. There we go. At least we got big coverage for a pay-per-view provider, which is nice. Now we need to look at both Mexico and the US. I guess we could probably go for type and go cable and then have a look at the other one. So this is the one that we probably want to go on to, which is Demand TV. The one we're currently on is Celestion Mexico. I wonder how close we are to that, actually. Because that would have been a lot smarter to wait for instead of just getting the pay-per-view deal that I just got. Can we cancel our deal? 3.5 million. That'd be another pretty big mistake by me. We've got this one for a year. Oh, I wish I had have looked at that first. Damn it. I'm kind of tempted to just write that wrong again. I know we've already done that once before in the series, but I'm very tempted. How many regions? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we won't actually have 65 pop in 15 regions. So never mind. We will actually have to wait, basically. Although British Columbia is only 5 points away. I don't know. Anyway, I guess, I mean, I've already kind of screwed up. Maybe we just stick with big coverage for a year, and then we can go on to North America Prime Select. Seeing as I've already messed it up, so... yeah, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. But I guess it's going to be Demand TV, Mexico. If they will have us. Alright, so 1 year. Again, it's the same sort of thing. They want a minimum 12 episodes. Guaranteed. I guess you could just go like 60. Yeah, you could essentially just go 60 and it would defeat the purpose, but I guess kind of makes sense for us to do exactly the same as we did. And I'm guessing we're going to have to probably go late night again. Yeah, so we would actually have to pay them to go into early evening. I don't think it's anything too different, and I don't really want to be paying people to be showing our own pay-per-views. It's pretty frustrating, but anyway. And again, they're only gonna give us 25%. Seems pretty crazy, but yeah, I guess it's because they're big coverage. All right, so that should be fine. There we go. We'll propose that one. At least with these ones that I'm doing right now, they're all gonna expire at the exact same time, which will be Monday, week 1, of November 2025. So then we can literally go straight onto North America Prime Select at that time. And then our final one to look at, I probably should have checked maybe internet pay-per-view. Oh, it's only Rivera. Never mind. And cable is sort of where you want to be at. You don't really want to be on internet because I think it has less viewership. Okay, I don't think we'd be able to get on that one anyway. It's 10 regions. I think we only have it in 9. Let me just go back and double check. Let me count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Definitely getting screwed over by Puerto Rico and Hawaii. Because that'd be a pretty awesome pay-per-view provider to get. Alright, what have we got? Premier Pay TV. But we can't get on there because we need 10 regions with popularity. And we're just not there. We are just not there, so we're probably going to have to go or stick with Udemand, I think. Yeah, because this one needs 45 popularity in all 11 regions in the US. And we're definitely not there. So we're going to have to stick with Udemand, I think. That's unfortunate. The crazy thing is, like I said, we're only about 5 points away from getting North America Prime Select, which has huge coverage in the US. Anyway, wonder if we can just extend our deal like this and go unlimited 1 year. I wonder if does it add a year on top of what it already is? Or does it just extend it to be 1 year? Really hoping it extends it just to be 1 year. Although I could probably just do 13 again with this one as well. Does it end after 13 anyway? I don't know. Let's just do 13 because I've done it for the rest of them as well. Can we go prime time? How come we still can't get prime time or late evening? But I don't understand. Like, is it because of our product? Like, what's the deal? What's the deal? Anyway, there we go. Okay, any deal that is struck replaces the existing deal immediately. So it'll just be for 1 year, or 13 episodes, I guess. Alright. I really wanted to get a better time slot. I wanted to get, like, prime time. There we go. We're stuck with late night. Anyway, that's fine. It's interesting because they're pro wrestling and they're high risk as well, so just kind of expected it to be a little bit different. I guess I again should have checked internet, but yeah, there's none for the internet, so never mind. Okay, let's not worry about that. There we go. All right. Well, that's the broadcasting situation sorted out to an interesting level. Again, probably should have just waited for the extra 5 points in British Columbia. But then again, British Columbia, I think it does rise. Never mind. I was going to say it rises pretty slowly, but you know what it's been rising about? Well, we got 5 points that month, which is the Wrestle War Warzone shows. And we've been doing about 3 or 4 points every other month. So it would have been another 2 months. We would have gotten up to big size, and then we could have taken the pay-per-view deal. And now I've just set up another 2 more deals. So we could have paid $3.5 million to get the deal cancelled. And now it's probably like $10 million. And we're going to have to wait a whole year. I don't really think things, through very well sometimes, but there we go. Anyway, I'm gonna double check. I did send everybody down that I wanted to in one of those last episodes. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Let's take a quick look at the prestige. We've got 63 for the Canadian title, 48 there for the tag team titles. Obviously 74. This hopefully will go up a little bit. 76 for the world title and 70 there for the women's title. And our first ever champion, Laura Flame. So yeah, make sure you smash the like on the video, guys. Really do appreciate all the support, and it does help people find these videos a little bit more frequently. It does help out the algorithm. But yeah, apart from that, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, 50% of you guys have not subscribed. You watch the videos constantly, you aren't subscribed to the channel. So make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and you'll be notified when these come out. You won't even have to check the channel, come to the page and do that type of stuff. They will literally be in a little red notification at the top of your YouTube, and you'll know exactly when they come out. And again, I think next episode I'll kind of talk about what's going to happen, because I will be going into regional. I'm going regionally in my state for about 2 months, in a month's time. So I'll kind of let you guys know in that next episode. I was going to do it for this one, but hopefully keeping it relatively short will be pretty good for you guys to watch. Anyways, apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy and goodbye.